Greetings, everyone. This is a proposal that I would prepare for the Academic Cabinet and the Faculty Senate. The Academic Cabinet at WLC is comprised of the Provost, the Academic Deans, the Dean for Student Success, and the Dean of Student Life. And then the Faculty Senate would be an advocate. The sponsor would really have to be the Academic Cabinet. The advocates would really be the Faculty Senate. So good morning to all of you. In this presentation, I want to outline a comprehensive plan for building structural and cultural support for an intentional AI policy and initiative at Wisconsin Lutheran College. Dealing with issues of academic integrity and plagiarism is not a new problem in higher education. Since the release of generative AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini in 2022, WLC has seen a year-to-year increase of 24% on average of cases that have been referred to the Academic Judicial Review Board. So I don't think that this is necessarily just evidence of moral decline in the student population. Cheating has always existed, but we have some systemic gaps that exist at our institution. And one of them is a reliance on AI detection tools that place faculty in an adversarial position with students trying to reach out after the plagiarism has occurred. And there's also a lack of institutional clarity, especially among students, in understanding what is acceptable use of AI. There is a lot of mixed messaging for students in some classes where it is not allowed to be used at all. Some classes it's, no holds barred, and everything in between. What we would like to do is move from this reactive adversarial position into more of a mentorship role using an institutionally aligned framework. At the heart of this is going to be a shared syllabus policy coupled with student education and faculty support, as well as evaluation to see if the changes in academic referrals to AI are being done, or what are the reasons that those referrals are hopefully decreasing over time. So first, one of the reasons that I say before is we need a shared vocabulary, but we have to respect the academic freedom of different programs, instructors, professors, and fields, etc. Academic freedom is really foundational to faculty culture at any institution, and we have to preserve that, but in its current state, there's a lot of confusion and anxiety for students, especially students that are looking around at what is being done by other students, what's being expected of them, maybe in a more professional-minded setting versus what's being asked of them in an academic setting. So moving away from AI detection means that we have to move towards a clear institutional standard that we can apply across courses. So at the heart of the AI policy is really a three-tiered syllabus framework, one that is becoming more common across other institutions of higher education and K-12 education. And the goal of this is to really establish what is allowed and what isn't allowed. In one class, using AI to, for example, through Grammarly to edit a paper after it has been written is perfectly acceptable, while that may not be the same in a class designed to help students learn to edit their own writing. So establishing a syllabus framework that clearly outlines what is the green full use of AI and how do I use that and how do I cite that, a guided use of AI or no use of AI at all. And that's really one of the issues, is understanding what do we mean when we say no AI use, because of the ways that AI is baked into a lot of the tools that we use in education, in writing, in learning, in researching. So having that policy is just the start. Without educating both faculty and students, that policy is kind of meaningless. So at the heart of this program is really a student learning pathway. We understand, and this I think is aligned scripturally as well, that rules are not going to change behavior. but we can start to shift behavior through intentional education. And so we are going to focus on a digital foundation through our Canvas LMS that builds on the student orientation course, as well as a human and relational layer that's focused on peer-to-peer interactions and accountability. That will also give us some of the data as we look back at how the program is hopefully changing minds and attitudes as we move through the years. So the standardization of this program really does protect everyone. For faculty, we believe that they would still have the ability to practice their academic freedom, but it would give clarity to students and remove a lot of the ambiguity. And so having that consistent baseline will hopefully eliminate a lot of the academic violations that do reach the Academic Judicial Review Board, where it was just a misunderstanding about what was accepted in this class versus what isn't. Hopefully it will also allow faculty to have meaningful conversations that will help students understand that from the beginning so that they don't have to feel like they are in this adversarial role. The Canvas course is going to be delivered, as I mentioned, through the LMS. And rather than just understanding the rules, we want students to interact with scenarios that represent actual ethical dilemmas and force them to pick solutions or to narrate ways that they would move through these types of situations in order to really make sure that we are all on the same page when we talk about academic integrity and how that is applied in a scenario by scenario basis. We also are going to couple that with peer-to-peer accountability. We know that the training digitally is not going to be enough. We want this human interaction, and we want students to really learn from each other. And we think this applies to our institutional value of servant leadership. And so we are going to train trainers, specifically targeting initially our student RAs, our writing center tutors, our academic tutors, to be able to lead conversations with students and group conversations, focus groups that will talk about dilemmas that they are facing, the anxiety, the fears, the frustrations, and the acceptable use. We really feel that they are going to be more open to their peers than they are to us. And this will also address a growing concern that students really are not talking to each other about AI use because of the stigma that is associated with AI and cheating. Not just on the student side of things, we also need to equip faculty. Faculty are constantly having to keep up with technology that's moving at a rapid pace. And we want to give them concrete, intentional, and practical support rather than just mandates about AI. So coupled with the Center for Teaching and Learning, we'll target professional development initiative that is designed to build confidence and hopefully do so without causing additional work and fatigue, recognizing that a little bit of time up front can save a lot of time on the back end of policing these policies. So by the start of the year, the academic year, we want to have a professional development and a syllabus toolkit in the hands of faculty, along with the ability to have one-on-one or group work in hands-on workshops in order to realign certain parts of or certain types of assessments to something that's a little bit more adverse or averse to AI usage. We really think that this is going to move faculty back into that position of mentorship rather than the AI police. They can be a mentor in helping students understand where it is appropriate and why it isn't in some cases appropriate, especially in balancing the line between education and a vocational training and preparedness. We really think that this is rooted in WLC's identity. It directly applies to the academic goals of discerning truth from falsification and communicating with grace and precision. We also believe that it will re-emphasize for students a shared role in leadership in this way. And our primary outcome is to decrease by 30%, which would get us back to the 2022 levels of academic integrity referrals. So, using the technology acceptance model to make sure that faculty are prepared and are ready to go through this type of policy shift, especially with their syllabus, and understand the nature of AI, how it works, as well as a retrospective pretest survey that's done after our faculty trainings in order for them to say, here's what I thought I knew, but I actually didn't. So they have a better frame of reference to see how our development opportunities are preparing faculty. Coupled with the focus groups and narratives from students, we hope to learn about the shifting mindset of students, as well as being able to point to the fact that maybe AI referrals or plagiarism referrals are not happening because faculty are just giving up, but that students' attitudes and opinions are shifting. We really believe that WLC is uniquely positioned to deal with this challenge based on our faculty are teaching all classes, our small class sizes, and our previous commitment to mentorship. And so we're really calling on the academic cabinet to sponsor this bill, to allocate the necessary resources, and reinvest some of the budgets towards the resources of professional and student development. And we are calling on the Faculty Senate to really be the advocates, to advocate for this program, for this syllabus, and helping communicate that this really does embrace academic freedom, while also getting some of the work, the tiresome work of policing students removed from the faculty plate. So we really believe that this is an opportunity for WLC to move forward, not out of anxiety, but with that courageous commitment that we have to truth, student agency, and Christian servant leadership. And so this program allows us to do that along with our students. And hopefully by meeting this opportunity head on, we can help transform what is a challenge to most institutions into a defining expression of who we are. Thank you for your time, and I welcome your questions and feedback. All of the images that were used, with the exception of 2 that were ironically developed with AI, come from Pexels, and the links that are there. But thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you.